We were upstairs looking at the rig that we've got, and you're saying like how much things have changed. Like, can you walk us through?
Well, that rig upstairs we launched in 2019. Before that, our bread and butter was always the tubular style frames. Then we launched those extrusion style frames, and there's 300 parts in a box, and they're quite heavy. So we had a lot of learnings in those early shipments of the courier company's going to throw it around, or we're missing 5 screws, and so. We had to improve the packaging. We had to invest in like an automatic screw counter because it's pumping out all these T-nuts and screws, and the customer expects to get everything in the box.
Welcome back to the Torque Motorsport Show. We bring you behind the scenes and under the hood of motorsports and video games. I'm your host, Billy. We've got Aaron, co-founder, director of Grease Monkey Games.
Howdy.
And we've got Matt Sten.
Right.
Welcome to the show. Matt is the founder and CEO of Trak Racer, a global sim racing and flight simulator accessory manufacturer based here in Australia. Trak Racer produces software, seats, frames, stands, haptic motion systems. Definitely keen to try those out. Wheels, shifters, handbrakes, and more for the sim racing and flying community. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
I heard you talking about it before. I'm kind of a little bit salty that you have an R8 and are selling it. It's my dream car.
Well, you can buy it. It's for sale.
Is that like a dream purchase, and now you're kind of moving on, or?
Yeah, so I got it about just over 4 years ago, and I just told myself, once we've sold 5,000 simulators, I'm going to get it. And
awesome.
we had a few good months, and I got it. And I've had my fun, and time to pass it on to the next person.
Time to move on.
Yeah.
I'll keep a lookout on car sales.
Yeah.
No, is it a fun car to drive? I've never driven
so fun.
One. Yeah.
It's I've been test driving other cars like Porsche 911s and I think it's by far the most the most enjoyable. Like the amount of torque that you get and response out of the pedal and so on, and the sound.
The sound, yeah.
The sound's incredible. It's also got an upgraded exhaust. So it's hard to beat.
Is the V8? 10?
It's a V8, yeah, but it's just in terms of tech, it's like it doesn't have Bluetooth audio. It's a raw supercar. Yeah,
yeah. It's kind of nice in a way when the cars don't have all of the digital dashes everywhere. It's just kind of like
you don't always want to put on music, like you want to hear that engine because it sounds so good.
Yeah. So we've got a mate who has a Lotus Elise.
Yeah,
just like real driver's cars.
Bare bones. You're basically sitting on the ground. He took a Porsche 911 Turbo for a test drive.
Yeah,
and basically he says the Lotus has ruined it for him. Do you know what I mean? Because it's such a
and that's
like
I
connected,
feel the same, mate.
Car.
Yeah, I feel the same. I took out a GT3 as well.
Really?
And it's just so rough. Like the Audis are. More of an everyday car.
Yeah. Did you daily it? The R8?
Oh, the R8. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Sick. That's the dream. How many downloads of Talk Drift 2 do we have to?
Well, we hit 100 million sessions. So like
of Talk Drift 1. Yeah, that's wild.
All right, so when you do 2, you buy the team an R8 starting with mine. You can have mine.
The first
5% off.
Matchbox. Yeah.
I actually want to start off with a different question around more recent tech news. Are you Apple or Android first?
Apple.
You're Apple?
Yeah.
So are you going to be buying one of the Vision Pros when they come out?
Yeah, Jesus.
I don't know. Like, as you can see, I wear glasses. I don't know how
you have to pay for prescriptions for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But you got to pay, like BMW charge subscription on heated seats now. So,
yeah.
I actually I looked into it, and yes, but you don't have to pay up front for that feature. And it if you did up front, you would get that for like 8 years or something. So maybe you wouldn't want it. You know what I mean? Like in hotter climates, it just seems dumb that it's in the car.
Well,
do you know
look
what I mean?
Tesla.
Yeah.
You can to get the boost pack or whatever. It's just a firmware update.
Yeah.
There's one of the companies that make steering wheels in sim racing. They sell 2 different models at one's 30% cheaper than the other. They've got the same motor inside.
Yeah.
It's just software.
Yeah, God, it's probably like just cheaper to mass manufacture and then limit them, right?
Well, make them all on spec.
We talk like the motors aren't, they're not an expensive part. Like we've got our own direct drive. We've got 2 of our own direct drive motors coming out first half of next year.
Sick. And
it kind of adds up. Like the motor is not all, like there's other parts to it. So you've got encoders and the cables and everything else that a PCB, it all comes in. But the motor, it's a majority of the cost. But
I did not know you guys were getting into that.
Mate,
I thought you were just rigs, but this is the reason why we have we're actually meeting.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it now, or save that for a little bit later about what's to come.
Yeah. It's totally up to you. Well, maybe a better segue is going back.
Yeah,
what got you into sim racing in the first place?
Making rigs in from Australia. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Like, so we're in the top. Trak Racer are in the top 3 sim suppliers globally in terms of volume. We're number 1 for mid to high end. 2 of the 3, including us, are Australian based. It's kind of strange, isn't it? And the other one's from Netherlands. Yeah. So,
do you know the other person?
We bump heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as you can imagine, like we started in 2008 and they started about the same time. So as you can imagine, like very, very niche, fighting over the sale, et cetera, et cetera. Now, there's enough for everyone and a lot more brands have come on. But yeah, we don't talk. I saw, one of the guys we were at an exhibition in Germany last December. And, one of the guys was there checking out what we have because we're certainly like the most innovative SimRig company, whereas the other 2 sort of focus on the entry level, which is mass market, which we're looking at. We've got a few entry level rigs coming to get into that, similar to like, so the other 2 brands have tried to go bottom up, so entry level to high end. It's a lot easier where we are, high end to entry level.
Yeah,
just like BMW did and Mercedes and I guess Porsche did with the Cayman and the
Tesla as well. Obviously, the Model S came out first, and then they went down to the Model 3.
It's a lot easier.
Model 2.
So yeah, I'm heading over to our factory next Monday to review a lot of samples. It's been over 3. I used to go 6 to 8 times a year, and I haven't been for 3 years. So
factory is where?
China.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have 3 factories over there. They've all got their specialty: aluminium or steel fabrication or seats.
How many rigs do you guys put out?
Last year we sold over 18,000.
Jesus, that's a lot of rigs.
Yeah, it is.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, and this year we're going to do more with the. We did the collaboration with Alpine F1 team.
Saw that. Super cool.
Yeah, so we were pre-selling that since February last year, and finally, we were meant to launch it in June last year, but we weren't happy with it, and also Alpine weren't happy with it, so we pushed it back, and we finally delivered them in February this year. So 12 months of some customers waited 12 months for this thing, and they're not disappointed. So now we've got stock continually coming in, like containers and containers shipping every week, and this year we're going to have like pretty much a full year of selling that, which will add on to the rigs. And then we've got a few new models, so we've got at least 3 new models launching this year. So
awesome,
yeah,
exciting. It's an awesome like insight into the popularity too. Like you selling more, products means more people are getting into sim racing, which is like awesome for everybody, especially us that makes games for sim.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always been our ethos has always been like to give value, like better value products, because when we started it was like, all these companies, and it's happening less and less now, but companies making their 70-80% profit on a product. Now it's becoming, a lot more reasonable. Certainly like when we came into the aluminium style rigs, which what you have upstairs, we started with the tubular frames. Yep. So it's, bent tube, quite very expensive setup costs. So up to $250,000 US to set up, as opposed to that one, which can be quite cheap to manufacture. We don't do it. Like we have high startup costs, which makes our products a lot more competitive. So instead of CNCing a plate, we'll have like a die cast mold. Which helps us to halve or more the cost, and we pass that on to customers. We don't make massive margins, and so but the end goal is we get more people into it.
Yeah,
it's not
better for everybody.
Yeah, it's not a rich man's sport. It's like if you've got $300, you can get a Logitech wheel and pedals and chuck it on your desk, and then the next step is you could get something from us which starts at like $200 US without a seat. You use your own seat or upwards from there.
So I can tell there's a lot of like passion there that's kind of seeping into the business. So like, when's the first time you sat on a SimRig and kind of
thought, yes, I'm going to make this?
Or is that not how it happened? Yeah.
Well, you're a young fella, but you're probably more Daytona. So
we're going to cut that out.
Yeah.
Like Daytona.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that. I love that thing.
I play it now.
Yeah. Have you got one here?
No, I don't. I don't have one.
The only thing you don't have.
For the record, I did play that a lot.
Okay. All right. Thanks for setting the record straight.
Manual or auto? That's that we're really.
Yeah. Oh, manual, obviously.
So that was my first experience in a SimRig, growing up, and then so I my background's marketing. My father is his business was in fabrication, so he helped build the first SimRig, so I just saw these things online and I thought I could do better back then. It was just me, and I could do it for a better price point, and so I did. And
Awesome.
So we launched the RS8, and back in the early years, we were bringing in like 50 units in a year to Australia only. And then I think the next country was UK, then US, then now we're in like seven or eight countries ourselves, and then we've got distributors in others.
And
It's amazing.
we were upstairs looking at the rig that we've got, and you're saying like how much things have changed. Like, can you walk us through?
Well, that rig upstairs we launched in 2019. Before that, like our bread and butter was always the tubular style frames. Then we launched those extrusion style frames, and there's 300 parts in a box, and they're quite heavy. So we had a lot of learnings in those early shipments of the courier company's going to throw it around, or we're missing five screws, and so we had to improve the packaging. We had to invest in like a screw counter, like an automatic screw counter.
Yeah.
Because it's pumping out all these T-nuts and screws, and the customer expects to get everything in the box. So there was a lot of learnings, and we've come a long way. And we wouldn't have sold over 18,000 rigs if we hadn't.
I'm curious about, you said that you used to go to China like 6-7 times a year, and that's kind of been reduced. So that
I was married, mate. I didn't want to be there, and I'm not there now. But So I was using it as a way to. It's exciting to get over there, and when I travel, I get fresh ideas. Also, back then I could manage everything. Now I can't on my own.
Yep.
So I've got a great team that support my vision, and they also share the vision. And lots to come.
And I assume there's plenty of things, there's no like entrepreneurial startup guide of you're going to need a bolt counter at some stage, and you're going to have issues, like what are the kinds of things that you've discovered or didn't expect to have to learn like over that period?
Well, it's interesting, like with that bolt counter, because we were we got in a lot of bad publicity over damaged products arriving damaged because the shipping company, we weren't packaging enough for the shipping company to get it there safely, and screws, may have fallen out during shipping, or maybe they never ended up in the box. So, the screw counter, as you mentioned, was one of the measures that we took, and I posted that online, and just to show, well, this is a step in the right direction. And then I had like our competitors that have been doing extrusion rigs for longer than us say, "Oh, where'd you get that?" So I'm always like, the thing about Trakracer is, compared to competition, is if you look at our models, we've got Mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we're always, I'm very heavily involved in the Trakracer owners group on Facebook, which has over 7,000 members. So people are putting up their feedback. I take it all on board, and I'm constantly improving the product. So, the wheel mounts and how things go together, and
Yeah. So the important take I hear from that is that our rig upstairs is aging.
Yes,
and it needs to be updated.
Correct. We'll get you one next week.
It's official.
Yeah, it's official. It's on the podcast. Yeah. So it's just like just constantly improving is how we are where we are.
So we're actually in opposite worlds here. So you make physical goods, and we make virtual goods. And I think what is interesting for us now is we're trying to bridge the gap between the virtual and the physical, and we're exploring potentially even making our own stuff as well, hardware wise. So there's lessons to be learned on that front. But we're also exploring virtual goods and tying it with like discounts on the store and all that kind of stuff, because we sign a lot of brands and we're trying to connect them with the players and then add some value to them buying the virtual goods and stuff. So, yeah, there's a kind of interesting kind of space.
Any advice?
Any advice? Yeah. Do you have any good factories we can?
Well, we've already started working with a factory to produce our own pedal shifter handbrake.
Sick.
The software's done, and the software's being completed to also work with direct drive bases and motion. We don't have audio in there for a bass shaker, but we do have our own bass shaker coming, which will use like a just software that's available online. And with that, you can, I don't know how many speakers you can hook up. You can hook up a lot. So yeah, we've done a lot of work, and it's probably another discussion that we would be able to tap into your telemetry file and pull that into our own motion base and direct drive.
I would like this is like this is the original reason why I wanted to kind of talk to you face to face and explore more avenues, but we would love to work directly with someone who creates the rigs to help us with the physics to kind of really make that experience amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there is, even in the current state, there's some good stuff out there, but it's not there yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, Billy and I drift ourselves, and it doesn't feel like, even though like we jump in a Seto, it's probably the global acceptance of drifting, and it doesn't necessarily feel like what it does when you're ripping and shredding some tires. So we want to kind of work with someone to make that just the best experience ever. So yeah, we would love to work with you on that front. And the fact that you're making, wheels and handbrakes and stuff and pedals is amazing. Yeah. Yeah,
but by all means, like, we can help, assist if you need with all of that, because we've been working on it for a couple of years now, and it's this year will come to fruition. We've also got 4 steering wheels to launch this year, so we've already started work on those, and like you just mentioned, we're paying close attention to the feeling and the sound of it. So our shifter it's not just a simple switch like a lot of others on the market. We're actually using a gear that simulates, and you can adjust it and so on. The pedals are we've got their load cell pedals, but they're going to be at a really, really good price point. And again, like in that industry, I'm tired of seeing these 70, 80% margins, because it stops people from getting in. So we're like we've done with rigs, we will disrupt that industry. will disrupt the direct drive industry, the motion, etc.
That's awesome.
And we're also working on like an online league platform as well, which is something that we could talk about offline.
What's the main difference between, I imagine it's safety, but like creating stuff for SimRigs and actually creating them for vehicles, like the seats and the wheels?
Yeah,
like
so it's possible that our seats could be FIA approved. They're not. So our seat sliders are not ADR or FIA approved. So we always make sure that we have disclaimers. Do not use it in vehicles. People have.
It looks the same.
Yeah. Like we've got an what's that car? What is it? E30 over it. Yeah. So we've got a race car in Netherlands.
Yeah.
E30. He's thrown one of our seats in there. He's thrown, we've got our own rims coming, so he's using the rim. I think he might have used one of our shift knobs as well.
You must be like wanting to share that all over social media, but then also like adding big disclaimers.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And I also get nervous.
Yeah.
Because they're a $300 seat. They're not a $800, $1,200 seat. And it's built to a price point because you don't need for sim racing. You don't need such an expensive product.
You don't need to hit a wall at 100 Ks.
Yeah, correct. So I get a bit nervous. I'm telling him not to do it because I get it. I don't want to be liable for that. But I'm sure it'd stand up to it. But yeah.
So you said you had a marketing background. How did you approach kind of the startup life with this new product and like doing everything yourself? Like you're wearing like all the different hats, right? Like manufacturing, marketing, like design and yeah.
Well, actually, I was marketing manager for Honda Australia.
Oh, nice.
And while I was there,
back when Hondas were cool, so it was like.
I think after Hondas were cool. Well, after, yeah. I think the coolest car was the City. No, it was they had the Civic 5-door.
Yeah.
That's probably the Type R. That was about as cool as it got, but not Integra days. No.
Yeah,
I'm too young for that.
No, that's right in my alley.
So I was I come up with I wanted to import car electronics to sell under the Honda brand, like navigation systems and so on, before they existed. And they didn't want to do it, so I just started doing it on the side and selling on eBay. And then before that, I was a product manager for a power tool company. You would know GMC Power Tools. And so I got my experience with sourcing and quality control and so on.
Great.
So started with the quality control, sourcing from China, product development, etc. Moved into a marketing job within the automotive space, and then finally got here. So, it's
nice.
It's been a bit of a journey. Started there, and then just saw the opportunity with simulators, and created something.
What's
easy as that?
Easy as that. Yeah. You just sell a course around the 10-step program.
5-minute course.
What is the obviously you can't tell us everything now because it's complicated, but the actual sourcing and like where do you actually start finding somewhere in China that can produce stuff and the quality control and like there's like a 5-hour conversation just around that, just to surface level stuff, right?
Yeah, look, it usually starts. We're 50% owner in a factory over there, which does a lot of our tube bending, and it's actually like we started there with firstly I found, well, I think that the first product was a chrome, it might have been stainless steel frame, and then I wanted to add a second product, so a beanbag with speakers, and from there I got over there and sourced a company that was making like fitness fabrication. And then we created this product, the first simulator, and Look, there has been. It's not easy. Like over there, like in the early days, like we jumped around factories a few times, but changing something by like the material. Now we have quality, like quite stringent quality control, but back then it was like just give me the give me the damn simulators, and they would use like maybe 2 mil or 1.5 mil thinner tubing, and so a shipment would be rigid. And then the next shipment would be like, what the F? Why is this product moving? You used like a thinner material to save $2 on a rig. But as we become a lot more important for the partners over there, they prioritize us, and they won't F us around with cost cutting. They will usually just we'll have the discussion. And like I'm not about, well, I want all the profit. We all need to eat, and but it's just like at what level. So I've got over the years, like I've got an idea about the cost of manufacturing, and so I usually use that as a starting point, and then add on a margin.
Probably like everything, right? Like finding the right partners and then being able to work together long term on building out lots of products. Yeah,
well, I know that one of our competitors they tried to get into the tube frame. Hasn't gone that well. It's not that easy. Like it's big setup costs, and I think that he's received like 2 shipments which have been sent back with problems.
I would imagine the extrusion would be more complicated, but it's the tube bending is the hard thing, is it?
Yeah. Well, extrusion is just like
it's like
I'll make it sound easy, but it's it's just cutting lengths, and then I try not to CNC. Like a lot of our competitors will CNC because there's lower volumes. Like you can do 1 or you can do 100, whereas we'll usually do a few thousand of something. So like it's quite easy. It's just cutting and there's not a lot of welding with the aluminium extrusion.
So tell us a bit about your you mentioned a little sneak peek into like motion rigs and stuff. So what are you doing on that front?
So at the moment we are selling a high-end brand, and I'll say it again. We want to disrupt the industry because it's too expensive. So something that starts at like $4,000 US. It doesn't cost half of that. So I would like something that starts at say $1,500 or $2,000 US.
Yep.
And then by sometime next year, we'll have the full ecosystem with the Trakracer brand, with unbeatable, features and pricing. That why would anyone go anywhere else?
Well, the traction loss is really important, so definitely explore that for us because that's kind of our world.
So. We're starting with we've already started on the designs of the traction, rear only.
Yep.
But of course, we need front as well, surge as well. Yep. So, it's all doable. We're going to launch it with five outputs, which can have traction loss.
Okay, cool.
Our base currently, we don't have a base, but that's not that difficult.
Yeah, I've researched many things over the years, and it's like they do three-way motions or 5-way or whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I had an interesting meeting with a defense company in the defense industry today. They want me to develop like an arm that completely rotates. That's something that's a little bit more tricky.
Jeez, we're thinking like fighter jets or something like.
Yes, I can't say, but yes, something around that.
Something that would require
something that shoots things.
You do a bunch of flight simulator stuff too, right? So
so we are working. We have a partnership with Airbus, small aeroplane company, but we haven't launched that product yet. So that's one of the new products that I'll be reviewing next week. But we do have a few options which are just add the flight mounts to our existing products, which is quite, we've got the mounts and we just sell it as a kit. Not that complicated, but it's a growing industry. Like one of our competitors is putting a lot behind it, a lot more than sim racing, which tells me something. And so, I said to Ash today, mate, we've got to go after this because obviously we're missing out.
Now, good segue from partnerships because you have a relationship or partnership with our mate Dan Burkett, I believe, from the website.
Yes.
Or at least he uses the Trak Racer rigs.
I love Dan.
We've been working with him for such a long time. Yeah, you would have seen him on the does he still show us on his socials?
I can't remember, but
who else we got, Ash?
bunch of drifters.
Yeah, we do have a few drifters.
You got some influencers as well, and
yes.
Yeah. How's that? How did the F1 Alpine partnership come about? Because that's kind of
they approached us. So I think it was like 2019 or something. No, it would have been 2020 because it was COVID time. We were approached by the royal family in Monaco.
Oh wow!
Because they were hosting the virtual Le Mans 24-hour. They said we want some rigs.
Oh, I think I heard about that actually.
And so, so we sent our guy Johan over in Europe over there. He had a bit of fun in the palace to set it all up, and from there we were approached by Alpine, who said we're not, it's not working with our current partner. They're not supporting us. We're looking for someone else. So we put our hand up and started working on the TRX frame, which worked out for us as well because they gave us access to the seat engineer and the chassis engineer and essentially a lot of guys and girls in their R&D department. So from that we were able to start the project and then work on improvements for the project. And then all the the influencer stuff that comes with it and marketing support, etc.
Makes a big difference, like on the marketing side specifically, but also just getting feedback from people who do it in real life makes such a difference. Like we work a lot with real drivers and drifters, just getting their feedback on just game design or how it feels on the rig, so that it's authentic. Your products come out and feel authentic for people as well.
Yeah, well, with the before we started shipping out the Alpine Racing TRX simulator, we had Esteban Ocon, for example, use the product and give us feedback on how it could be better. Elizabeth, I forget her surname, the seat engineer at Alpine, she gave feedback on the seat. So we're the first company to come up with a hybrid seat, which allows you to use it in Formula position, but also GT position.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. And you got a shout out in Drive to Survive, I saw.
Yeah, did you? Yes.
Yeah.
So we were in season 5, episode 3 and 5, I think. So one of them was a little cameo with Fernando Alonso's birthday party. Yeah, you can see Trak Racer in the background, and then we appeared on the actual car. Well, the logo appeared on the actual car at Silverstone and Miami.
Yeah, that's gold.
Have you been to Silverstone?
Yeah, I was there last year, and this year I'll be going to Austin and Vegas, F1, and maybe Brazil. And we've scheduled the logo on the car at a few races this year as well.
Cool.
You big on esports? Like come back to gaming and SimRigs?
I think it's amazing. Like like what you guys showed me is the realism now is just like this is so cool. And that's when I started. Like when I first got the idea, I was like looking at it going, this is so cool. Like. You can see where it's going, and we're still at ground level.
Yeah.
We've gone through the big boom. We managed to have huge growth post COVID, unlike a lot of
Yeah, I was going to ask you
companies.
about that, actually.
Yeah, so we had massive growth last year, and it was kind of supported with by new products and also like more distribution channels. So
I think I was trying to buy some stuff from your website, and everything was like sold out, sold out, sold out.
yeah, we're overcoming that issue because it's like it's a catch-22. It's like, is it gonna like in 2021? I was like, or 2020, I was like, is this going to continue? Are we going to be, like I'm going to put everything I have behind like inventory,
Warehouses
and,
full,
and it's going to stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite scary, but it's just like, well, we don't have enough.
Yeah. Well, that's a better problem to have, obviously. So yeah.
But I'm also like, damn, I should have got more. Hindsight.
Yeah. You said we're kind of ground zero, I think you said, like in terms of the SimRig industry.
Yeah, well, sim racing at the moment,
racing,
like I think the highest paid league is F1. I think it's like maybe 700,000 euros.
Yeah.
And when you compare that to other games or other game genres, it's relatively small. Simulation as a whole is going to continue evolving, like longboard simulation, motorbike simulation. I've heard of a yacht simulator. So this is just the beginning, and there's a new game that launched last year, Rensport.
Yeah, I was actually going to message. I was actually going to talk about Rensport. I was speaking to the founder the other day. Yeah,
that's a you get paid to play. Is it one of those?
The esports. I actually don't know too much about the esports side of things. I was talking to them on the angle that like we're kind of doing street/drift, and they do the real high end circuit kind of racing.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there something that we could do together? You know what I mean? Because I think like hearing his story and where they started and what they're aiming for, it's pretty amazing. Like he's just doing it's pure, just like for the love of it. You know what I mean? Like he's just super passionate, very similar to yourself. Saw a hole in the market and really kind of just dived into it. So.
Yeah. And we've got to mention the new Gran Turismo movie coming out in August. Like that's gonna really make this industry boom.
Yeah.
And it's going from the virtual to real life.
There's been so many wildly successful Last of Us. I don't know if you watched that.
No, I didn't watch it. I don't watch TV.
Yeah. No, I don't watch much either, but it's just like such a great adaptation of the game, and it's very like true to the story, and like the gamers got around it, and like people were coming back and playing the game because they watched the TV show.
Yeah.
And I guess, it's real life obviously, but the series around the F1 just wildly popular, and all these fans coming to the sport from the TV show.
I was arrived into the US last year, and as they do, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
What do you do? I make simulators. It's like, you mean like the F1? I'm like, yeah. I love the series. Like Liberty Media is like just done an amazing job, like reviving that brand. Like with that series, like it's phenomenal.
Where do you see the simulation industry going in like 5-10 years? Are you thinking?
Well, probably be shot for this, but I don't think it's out of the question that virtual will become the new normal.
Yeah.
Like you saw, F1 for example. Now they're hybrids. They lost a lot of interest because of that. Like where's it end? Is it going to become fully electric? And like people go there for the sound and the excitement of it.
And the smell.
Yeah, when it goes electric, is like what happens then? When they start televising virtual F1, like will that get more interest than the real one?
Yeah,
because essentially, like you don't need $1 billion to have a team.
And it's hard to tell the difference nowadays too, like the virtual and
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I haven't
I can always tell the difference because I want to vomit. So
with the VR on, yeah. But what if you're watching a virtual series of
I don't know. It's really interesting. Like the stuff we do now. Obviously, this is our world, so we can kind of we know what it is and stuff. But often, some of the stuff we show, normal people don't understand that they're looking at a 3D. You know what I mean? So like there's and like as the tech gets better, it's just like going to be harder and harder to tell. And after like I've spent my entire my entire career working in 3D. And I see some renders now, and they do that thing where you got to pick: is it real or it's fake? And I miss it half of the time. So, yeah, give it another 10 years, and gonna have no hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you showed me upstairs with that tail light.
Yeah.
The detail in that, and
there's some people upstairs that are gonna love that comment. Yeah.
And you look at
it's amazing.
But it extends like renders outside of automotive to house renders. You got to look.
Yeah.
Do a few double takes just to realize that they're trying to pull your leg.
Yeah.
It's funny because like Torque Drift 1 and Torque Burnout, they're like mobile games, right? They're like more optimized. And like tail lights were always like a pain point because you've kind of bake in some of the lighting information into the texture, which is 2D. But now we've gone from like it being a pain point to like having probably the most realistic tail lights in any
Which
game.
is really weird because like that one tail light would have more vertices, like 10 times more vertices than the entire car that we used to make in the past. You know what I mean? So we don't have any limits anymore. So.
And there you got rain coming into games and
but it's funny, like rain on a track like isn't so fun, right? Like at least for drifting, because it's like once it's patchy, it's like a nightmare. But obviously you want the visuals of rain. Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, but you don't want the actual experience of it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask actually around you mentioned you're very active in the community on Facebook and talking to people and like tell us more about that because it's very similar to kind of how we develop games. So,
well, I think it's definitely part of our success that I am involved and it gets spoken of a lot.
Yeah,
they recognise the founder and CEO of this, quite large company is really getting amongst here, and it's often abused though. Like I'm not getting a tracking number, and maybe they sent an email like a couple of hours ago. So I have tried to distance myself from it because it is a bit of a distraction. But as I said, like I don't watch TV, and I actually enjoy interacting with customers. I love to see their, what the creations that they come up with because it's far outside my imagination. The way that I saw this awesome flight sim setup today. I was like, fuck, is that our product? I actually messaged the guy. I said, can I have a shopping list of everything on there? I want to build one in our showroom. So yeah, like I'm constantly being told by my team, like, stay out. But I actually enjoy it. Like I like getting my hands dirty and solving problems and
I think it makes a big difference. Yeah, because it's again authentic and you get the ideas and people see that. But then, like you said, people are like, I sent you a DM. Like what? And you're like, but
well, I don't get back to all of them, but I don't do it because I have to do it. I do it because I actually enjoy it and it keeps me in touch with what people are saying, because often with our support team, like they don't feed back everything to me. So if I see, what a couple of instances where something's happening, then I'll dig a bit deeper and go find out why and then solve it.
Yeah,
like I like to solve things rather than continuously see the same thing. I just look at my time. Yeah.
I think you mentioned just then, but like, what's the coolest thing that you've, like, one of the community members or people have built using your stuff? You're just kind of like, what the hell? Like,
well, the extrusion rig that you guys have, like, it's so flexible. You can just like, like I saw a few. Yours is a bit of a Frankenstein. Like I'm like, I've got a mount for that butt kicker. I've got something for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll sort you out with all that. But
for that, yeah.
they're constantly like, because there's a lot of DIY kits for motion, for example. So see our rigs with some motion kit that I've never even heard of, or customers like making their own direct drive, their own pedals.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of clever people out there that aren't using that talent for like that. They could have any sort of job, but that's their passion. And that's what they research, and they're able to pull it off. So I'm usually like, hey, that's a sick simulator. Do you want to, let's talk and maybe we can do something together.
Have you ever hired any of people in the community?
Yes. Yeah. So our head of Europe was, I think in 2019, we attended an exhibition in Germany, and we were sponsoring a sim racing team called VP Gaming. And after that, I approached one of the guys in that team and I said, hey, I need someone in Europe. And he said, look, I'm not interested, but talk to this guy. And that guy is now our head of, he's our European UK manager. And then we've got another support guy over in Europe who was also in that sim racing community. We've got Jamie in our Australian office who was a customer, came on working with us. In our US team, we've got a customer as well that bought from us and then came on. So, yeah,
I reckon it's a good
keeping
way
it
to
in the
hire.
family.
Yeah, because like some of the players who play our games are just like, it's like we develop these tools and we're like, yeah, it's this good. Players will be able to do this with it, and then they use it and they were like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah, they're way beyond like even what if we put 100 hours in, they've put like 10,000 hours in. And
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
We got like one of the best players of Torque Drift 1. He works for us now. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah.
So he advises on everything, and like
Yeah.
and he does all the recordings that we use for the Formula Drift events and stuff, and yeah, and he's like his skills is like way beyond the
doesn't make any
developers.
sense,
It's just
actually.
like
It's kind of like the
almost
FBI hiring criminals,
superhuman.
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I think maybe we should just hire people from that's the prerequisite. You've got to be like a drift king in Torque Drift 1. Yeah, no, that's awesome. You mentioned at the start that you've got some new products coming up. Is there
Yeah.
anything you want to like
Future.
share?
What's the future?
Any spicy goss?
Well, there's lots coming up. Some of it, like in regards to strategy, can't share, but certainly, like it's no secret that we're very well advanced with our peripherals hardware. So the software's done. We've completed a heap of game plugins. It'd be great to grab to work on yours and add that in. And the first is going to be the handbrake, shifter, and pedals, which are going to be like far more than you could get currently for that price. We're able to do that by investing heavily in setup costs, as I mentioned before. And then we've already started work on 4 wheels. We have a 5th wheel coming, which will be a replica wheel, an approved replica. And then our own base shaker, we've got that coming. So that's a few months off. We're just going through the electrical certification now.
Is that going to sit under the seat or something?
Yes.
Like, how are you going to mount it?
Yeah, so you would we've designed mounts already. So mounts that will bolt onto anywhere on your rig, or in specific locations on our tube frames. One that sits under the seat slider, and you can bolt like 1 or 2 under there. People are starting to put them on their pedals. They want to feel the rumble in their pedals.
Yep.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then league management web app we're working on. Direct drive. So we've already selected the motors for that. We actually over the last weekend we ran our prototype, which works brilliantly. So the feedback is up there with the most expensive brands in the market. However, it'll be much more reasonably priced. We've already started work on active pedals and so on, which is putting an actuator behind a pedal, which allows you to, adjust depending on
Cool.
like
Excellent.
full adjustment.
Yep.
In terms of like the pressure and the return and so on.
Yeah, because you guys obviously do a lot of hardware, but a lot of software as well for all those bits.
Yeah, well, that's so we the first time that we showed the peripherals, so it was a few wheels, some pedals, handbrake shifter, was at the Sim Expo in December last year in Nuremberg, and it was common to hear, "What? You're a frame manufacturer? Why are you doing this, or why not?"
Yeah,
because I get bored. We've already nailed the Sims. I want to do something new.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think it's just like the evolution of where we've been and where I want to take it.
Yeah.
Like it's a very fragmented industry. So at the moment it's like a pick apart, or like imagine being forced to build a PC and not having the option to go and buy a gaming, like a gaming PC or whatever it is. You'd have to go to like 6 websites. You go buy your GPU, your CPU, your power supply, etc. And it's kind of what it's like to an extent now. And it will be changing to, so the future I see with simulators will be like the car industry. So the car industry, you go, all right, well, I like that Nissan Fairlady, or I like that BRZ or whatever, and it comes down to style and performance and price. And that's where the simulator industry will get to. But at the moment it's visiting 6 websites to put a kit together and having to do that research to find out, well, what kind of PC do I need to run 144 hertz?
You love that part, don't you, Aaron? Is the
What
the
pick apart kind of system? I love it and hate it. I do want to tinker and work things out, but then it is frustrating not having the right switch, or like having trying to find it and get it. Like we even some of the rig stuff, we had a handbrake and it was just missing like one cable adapter or something. It was really frustrating having to go and find it, and then something like the consistency of the products, like sometimes
you're not talking about Trak Racer, right?
No, I'm talking about the peripherals of that I currently have upstairs.
Yeah,
good. It's like just like them not working in all of the games, or just trying to get them to work. It's just it's pretty messy.
Yeah. What wheel do you have on there at the moment?
We've got the direct drive. D1, I think. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. So all of the brands making wheels, except for Logitech and Thrustmaster, there's a long way to go. Like in regards to making them, like the firmware where you dial everything in, etc. It's very poorly designed. So yeah, it's got a long way to go. Like if you were to go and get, for example, the new Logitech Pro wheel and jump into that software, you'd be like, they're chalk and cheese, like what you currently have, the brand you have, and that. It's just so much easier to do. And we've done a few reiterations on our UX for the Trak Racer, what's it called? Trakracer Device Manager, TDM. We've spent a lot of time on the design for that because it's also complicated.
It is definitely complicated, and like even trying to work out what everything does. Like I spend a lot of time in forums and watching videos and and trying to kind of dial things in. Even the sim software that that we kind of use for testing other stuff, it's like it wasn't not necessarily designed around traction loss. Do you know what I mean? Like grip racing is very different, and getting the feel of drifting is it hasn't been nailed. So I think there's a good opportunity there. That's what I like. I like that you're going to be doing motion stuff, and I think particularly getting the seat to move a little bit, just so you feel like it's broken traction. I think will make a huge difference. Yeah.
What motivates you personally to do all of this? Like, there's obviously a lot of awesome stuff you get to do, but also, as with any entrepreneurial kind of path, a lot of stress. So like, what gets you out of bed to do this and push the needle? And
I was on the way over. Ash was like, "How do you deal with the stress?" A lot of things. Unfortunately, we have problems that are out of my control, and that's what causes me the most stress because, I like to be in control of the outcome. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by winning and having as much market share as possible. And I guess not losing. I want to cover as many bases as we can. Be it with we've got like 7 racing simulators now. By the end of this year, I'll chop back on that, or we'll have 10 at different price points and different features. And
have you raced much? Because I feel like not losing is a good motivator to be a good racer, right?
Well, I did take the car. I did track the R8.
Yeah.
It can be a bit dangerous as well. Like when it's not even a race and you're like, bastard, he took me on that corner or whatever. But it's real life, it's
competing with yourself, right? Because it's like, you can do better or things like that.
Yeah. But with the car, it's a V8, but I was maxing out at 230 kilometers an hour and I wanted more.
At that speed, there isn't much straight, even at Sandown.
No,
kind of runs out.
Yeah. I was running out of space.
Yeah.
What are you planning on? So you're selling the R8. Do you have a plan for what you're going to buy?
Actually, I had a call the other week from the Porsche dealer, and he's like, "Matty, I've got a brand new. It's a demo GT3. Do you want it?" I'm like, fuck yeah. And then he wasn't working, and so he's like, I'm trying to get onto the to the dealership because these things are rare. They're as rare as hen's teeth.
Waiting list.
You can't even go on a waiting list for it. If you have to have bought several Porsches to even be able to order one
to be considered. Yeah,
and then you're still going to wait a few years. So and it was a very reasonable price, and I was like, all right, yep. And then he's like, I can't get onto anyone. And then finally he calls back, they sold it. so it took 5 minutes to move it along. And it went to a guy that he wanted a GT3. He wanted a GT3, but he couldn't get one, so he bought a GTS. And he had it for like 2 weeks. And then they called him like, you want this? Like, yep. And so they got the car back. Now it's a trade-in. Yeah.
Well, this kind of leads into your questions, Aaron. Aaron's got some questions. He asks every.
Oh yeah, okay. So your first car?
A Ford EA Ford Fairmont Gear with the velour seat and a sunroof that leaked when it was raining.
Nice. Do you still wish you had that one? Or?
No, I called it the Grey Ghost. My dad did as well because he was the one that was fronting up the for the transmission and the electrics and everything else that went.
You remember it though.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Okay, so that's your first. Okay, what's your favourite car?
I'm torn between the favourite that I've owned or...
No, just favourite in general. Yep.
I'd have to say the R8.
But you're selling the R8.
Yeah, I know. It's just
it
lives
the
on
R8
it lives on the street because my garage is too high to get in.
Oh,
yeah, and it scrapes to get in, and
probably breaks your soul every time you scrape it.
yeah. Well, I don't put it out there. I attempted it, but
So then what would be your forever car? So something that you do not want to sell because it won't scrape, or you know what I mean, like, yeah.
you're making me reconsider this sale.
Yeah, well, I think, well, maybe.
Is that your agenda?
I guess I am. Like, I used to have a BMW M3 E90. It was 4-door. It was black. And I sold it for the exact same reason that you did. Like, it used to park on the street. It just felt dumb, you know, like that I had this insane car. It's V8. It's probably it's the last of the V8s in the M3 range anyway. And I sold it, and now I just like nothing but regret. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I shouldn't have bloody.
You give me a lot to think about.
Just keep the R8. It
Yeah.
can be your forever car.
I'll build a new garage. I could do that,
Yeah.
but yeah. Look at because I know I'm going to regret it. But yeah, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't
This is
sell
like
it.
car therapy right now.
Yeah, I
So
think
this
it's car therapy. So what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Don't sell it.
So you haven't drifted yet, right?
No.
So that's something we've got on our list.
Thank you.
to-
Please.
to change. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get you out there. Aaron just bought another car. I sent it to you, and I'm like, hey, check this out. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah. And then I went and bought it. Here's the thing. I wasn't even looking for a car, but
Was it already?
You don't have a car, so.
Was it already done up as a drifter or no?
I know it's a 180 SX. So
Okay.
like really really old school. And I had one that was stolen. I mentioned it every single
An ongoing podcast theme, yeah.
And I loved that car, and I really missed it. And then this one came up. The price was really really good.
Like really good.
And like the thing is, the first one that I bought, it was like, it had no power steering. It had basically no brakes,
No brake boosters,
no
yeah.
brake booster. So you had to put your foot through the floor to even stop the bloody thing. And
Was that an option back then, or
no? The person had ripped it all out.
Ah,
and
custom.
it leaked, and you started the engine, and the neighbours really just hated me and stuff. But
Sounds familiar.
It was very straight. Like the interior was gutted, but the dash didn't have any cracks, which is super rare. And each body panel was straight, and I love the car so much that I didn't want to drift. Like, you've seen my BRZ.
Yeah.
I bought that in like street showroom kind of condition. It was like, it was absolutely mint.
It's still what it is, no?
No, it's beat up,
kind of showroom, yeah.
beat up to shit.
Yeah.
But I love it for what it is. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I love that it's got the marks of, you know, that I've hit things. And you know, I drive it, you know, what I built it for. But the Sil 80 I had, it had straight body panels that it's kind of rare. And I'm like, I reached that point where I'm like, I don't want to abuse this car anymore. And so I started to be a little bit more precious, but then someone stole it, kind of ruined everything. But this one that I'm looking at, it's a little bit beat up, but it's got everything I wanted. And I'm really excited about it, actually. I'm going to get that. I'm going to drift the hell out of it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
And with the pop-ups.
Yeah.
Pop the pop-ups.
Pop it up, headlights. It's just, I'm super excited for that too.
Yeah, I watched the Lamborghini. Have you guys seen the Lamborghini movie?
No.
So good, but yeah, they I think they might have been the first to design the pop-up headlights, and that's sort of shown in the movie.
Well, apparently pop-up headlights are never coming back because pedestrians get hurt by them. So pedestrians ruin everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ban pedestrians.
yeah, exactly.
I think
Cars only.
a few broken legs is worth
Yeah.
the pop-up headlights. Come on.
It's like, show me one person that's broke their leg from pop-ups.
Yes.
Anyway, do you have any spicy takes on the car scene? Since we're talking about cars,
What do you mean?
like, you know, ICE engines suck, or like, you know, EVs all the way, or something like that.
Are you anti-EV? Have you driven a Tesla?
I've driven a Tesla. I've driven a Taycan.
Yeah,
I don't like, you know, like to go from a V8 into an electric. I don't like. I don't like the feeling. I get nauseous.
Yeah.
And usually, like people, well, the people I know with Teslas want to fang them around as well, so that doesn't help.
Isn't it weird because like the R8 would pull just as hard?
Yeah, I know.
And yet it's different. Like I have a Tesla, and you floor it, and the torque is just so instant that and it doesn't back off. There's no like changing gears first. There's not that split second where everything eases.
Yeah.
And it's just it just keeps going, and so it's my kids actually hate my Tesla. Or actually, they love the Tesla. They hate me driving the Tesla.
Yeah, I don't like my brother-in-law driving his Tesla. I had to get out and almost spewed. But yeah, I think maybe the sound helps. The throttle curve. I'm not a fan. Like I actually like hybrids. You know, like a Panamera hybrid or something like that. Very quick and you best of both worlds. Yeah, it's like a 3.5 litre per 100.
Ferrari's doing it as well. You know.
So yeah, definitely hybrid. I think whether the world completely switches to EV or hydro or who knows. But yeah, there's a lot of people trying to stop EV.
Yeah.
The old, there's more emissions from a battery than combustion engine. But I'd rather be in a garage with an electric car running as opposed to another sort of car. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. I don't know. It's one of those things that's inevitable. It's going to happen, but there's always going to be
Well, consider yourself lucky that we got to experience. You know,
yeah, correct.
Like the pinnacle of.
I think the end of it will be taxes.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of
cigarettes.
A lot of countries tax, like you got a city tax, which doesn't apply to EVs, for example.
Yeah. Well, ironically, I'm being taxed for having an EV. So go figure that one. Yeah.
Good. Hopefully, it makes normal cars cheaper for us.
They say because they don't get their fuel tax excise or something. I'm like, isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's no servicing.
I don't think people realize that. Like, there's literally no servicing on the Tesla.
Oh, the brakes.
Brakes. But here's the thing: you use regenerative brakes.
So help.
The brakes last forever. The rotors and pads last for 150,000 Ks. So you barely
tires and wiper blades.
Tires and blades, and that's there's no
expensive
fixed service. So if something breaks, then but that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's not many moving parts on an electric car.
No. Except people's necks.
Yeah, correct. People's tummies.
That's probably the funniest thing I've heard you say on this podcast.
Thanks.
Matt.
Highlight that some way.
Yeah.
Matt, It's been awesome to have you on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, man. And I'm really looking forward to doing stuff together. Like we see the value of your world, and I hope that you see the value of our world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we can bring them together, then we just make better products. And that's what I want. So let's make it happen. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have a chat about the integration of your plug-in for our hardware. Hopefully we'll see you over in the showroom as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Have a time.
Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up, or where should people go to find out more about Trak Racer?
So Trak Racer, TRAK, there's no C, trakracer.com. We now have distribution out of 9 or 10, 11 countries, and that's growing all the time. A range that grows by the month. So get there, and if you've got any questions, send in an email.
And Matt will respond.
Yes, join the Trak Racer Owners Group on Facebook, and I will respond.
Cool. Thanks, man.
No worries. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure to comment below. Tell us what you think. Subscribe on YouTube. Obviously, follow us on Instagram. We got lots of stuff coming up soon. We got the US build with the GR86 and Alex. We got lots of game devlogs coming out. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.